All right, Rob, we're live.
Right.
It's Wednesday night. We're a little late. We're about an hour later than we would normally be, but that's because, like many other bowling fans, we were watching the end of the Elias Cup.
I mean, I was into it, Mike. I thought it was a great show tonight. Finally, I got to see some emotion, out of a lot of these players, and the team environment does it. And it wasn't even it wasn't even in Portland. There was no crowd. I can't even imagine if that match was in Portland. It would have been absolutely bonkers, especially with hey, shout outs to my MVP man, Richie Teese. Dude, that guy was fire, bro. He was fire. But yo, I enjoyed it, man. And I would be the first, and everybody knows me, right? I would be the first to shit on it if it was boring. And it really it was a great show. I was super into it. I didn't bet on it. I was kind of rooting for AJ because we shit on his team a little bit when they got drafted. I should probably say we shit on them a lot. So I was rooting for them because, dude, the sweep the rack jinx, man. Anytime we talk shit about people, dude, they end up bowling really well. So I mean, we
That's what
can name.
I thought, you know what? We need to come on and just spin it and just take credit for giving them a hard time and bashing that team, and just say, yeah, we inspired them to make a run to the final there, I guess.
Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about because I mean there was a ton
That's
of
how
shows.
I'm playing it anyway. That's how I'm playing it.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. Like the DJ Archer, Oscar Palermo. I mean, all these guys that we've we've thrown shade at in our years of doing this podcast. Everybody always seems to bowl well right after we do it, and I was rooting for them. And man, I also gave a lot of shade to Ildemaro Ruiz about that pick, dude. He bowled fantastic. He was fire, bro. And he was picking out his beard and doing all kinds of stuff, man. Entertainment. It was great. I don't know where you want to start with these shows, but dude, there was a lot of shows. There was some Brad Angelo, Sean Rash drama. Not Sean Rash, Brad Angelo. God, who was the drama with? Oh, AJ Johnson drama. We thought it was drama, but we'll talk more. Where do you want to go with it? WWE fake, Mike. But they could at least played. I don't want to get it. I guess where do you want to start, man?
I don't know. Wherever you want. You want to start with? You want to start my betting?
Oh yeah. So let's hear about your betting. Yeah, let's hear about it.
All right. So it really struck me as funny that on the first day of the shows, I think it was Sunday. Who's better at bowling, Big Mike or Brooklyn Rob? Depends who you ask.
No, there's nobody that depends that you ask.
I don't know. We got to get a match then. Yeah, I guess Rob is more accomplished in his career. I'll say that, his bowling career, but he doesn't really bowl all that much anymore. So I don't know. I still bowl. I can still whip on Mike.
Hey,
listen, if you want to get a match, we can make that happen, son. You know that.
I will put the whip. I mean, I'll come out of retirement, blow the shoes off. Just don't give me that purple hammer right at 10. You ain't gonna beat me. You ain't gonna beat me.
Right, so the first, so I was confused, right? Because during the first show, which was on Sunday, they put up odds, right, as if wagering was available, and as far as we knew, it wasn't. Right, we checked with our people. The corp checked with their people. It didn't seem like it was available, but they were saying that it was available. So I was confused at that. So Monday, I was actually able to get clarification from our guy Lucas Wiseman. Okay, and he pointed us in the right direction. So Monday, Rob, I had. Now I'm trying to remember because I didn't write them down. I had the Fury against the Dallas Strikers. Okay, now you can give me flack for betting against Bill if you want, betting against our boy, but the odds were just too good. The odds were too bad for the Dallas Strikers, and they were too good for the Fury. So small piece there, and then I had the two winners. The Brew City Ballers went to a roll off, I believe. And I forget who the last match was. The match I laid off was the LAX and the Lumberjacks, because I thought that was a tough match to pick, especially with a lot of the players involved. So had a good day that day, and then last night, yeah, things kind of came off the rails a little bit because I had the Bruce. I stuck with my prediction. I went with my prediction, right, which was the Bruce City Ballers and the Dallas Strikers. They both reached the semifinal, so I stuck with them, and they both lost last night. I thought obviously the Dallas Strikers match was a better match, right? It was a closer match. It came down to a couple shots in the roll off. Bruce City Ballers didn't seem to put up their best performance last night in that semifinal. And then tonight I laid off just because, I both teams at minus 110. I don't know. Just doesn't.
So curious, right? Bill's match last night, they went to a roll off. And now correct me if I'm wrong here. Bill got up in the roll off and threw a strike, right?
He did.
And then they had Nick Pate. Now I saw they had an interview on Flow Bowling
with Norm Duke.
That's look, like Nick Pate's a great bowler, but you got Tommy Jones and Norm Duke. Come on, man. These are two future Hall of Famers. And he's stone 10, right? Nick Pate. So he threw a great shot, right? No disrespect to Nick Pate. Like, threw a great. But you got to question the lineup decision for Norm Duke.
I would have personally rather have seen Tommy Jones there.
Dude, these are guys. These Norm Duke and Tommy Jones.
Norm Duke had a bad look. I mean, if we're being fair, Norm Duke was like the weak link on that team last night.
Yeah, Tommy would have been
big four. Yeah. He went big four in the 10th frame of the first game. That kind of wrapped it up. He had a chance to double, I think, and shut them out. And then in the second game, I believe he opened at an inopportune time as well. So I knew he wasn't going to be in the mix early there when it went to the roll-off, but I was surprised that Tommy Jones wasn't the second up.
I mean, Nick threw a great, but I question that decision. I feel like the match would have been different if Tommy gets up there and strikes and actually put some pressure on Andrew to throw a strike there. I feel like stuff could happen. So I was just, kind of a little bit questioning that, but hey, look, like, threw it great. Nick Pate threw it great, and they didn't win. Tonight, since it's like kind of fresh in everybody's mind, I kind of feel like the story of tonight was the left lane.
Clearly, right?
Honestly, the left lane. And now, look, I'm a big conspiracy theory guy, right? Isn't it pretty common where if a TV show like the PBA wants to have a match go 5 games and not a sweep of 3-0, you're going to make one lane tougher than the other? I'm not saying they did it purposely, but I kind of am, so that they can have a series go 5. And, you just bad luck for Las Vegas that they had to finish on the left lane. Well, they bowled 3 games on the left lane, and Portland only bowled 2 on the left lane, right? I'm just trying to do the math in my head. I don't want to say anything incorrect. But Las Vegas started on the left lane, so they bowled 3 on the left lane. And that left lane was tight.
Portland started on the left lane. Yeah,
Portland starts on the left lane. I'm just trying to do the math. So
right. So
did Las Vegas bowl more games on the left lane?
Well, I don't know, because Portland ended on the right lane. Right, Portland ended on the right lane. So they bowled game 5 on the right lane, 4 on the left lane, 3 on the right lane, 2 on the left lane, 1 on the right lane. So they must have started on the right lane then, I would imagine, unless there was something where they got to pick before that match started. But it was a good match. It was a good match. It was entertaining. It was entertaining. There was some foul language being thrown around. Ildemar Ruiz was hype. He was getting a little shout to him. He performed really well.
Great.
Ruiz, he did bowl great. I mean, in the last game, he actually threw the shot that kind of sealed their deal, I would say there, the 210. But yeah, other than that, I thought he bowled really well. So shout to him. Listen, we gave Amleto Monicelli a lot of grief, right, Rob? When he drafted the team the way he did, because he picked Francois Laveau with the first pick, and that allowed the Brew City Ballers to get Sean Rash and Ryan Simonelli back to back. And we talked about that at length when it happened.
I still
Listen,
think it's a tragedy.
yeah, so do I. I
Think
tend
it's a
to
tragedy
stand
they
by.
picked Sean Rash.
Honestly, I think we'll get flamed for this tomorrow at some point by a lot of people, but I tend to stand by what we said. First of all, we were assuming that the competition was going to be at Bayside, and it wasn't. It was at this other bowling center. Secondly, still you have a chance to pick 2 Hall of Famers, 1 Hall of Famer. You do that. Frankie Lavoie, he bowled okay, but for a lot of the time, he wasn't anchoring the team. You take somebody as the first pick in the draft, I kind of expect that person to be the anchor of your team now and in the future going forward. So yeah, but shout to them for a good performance. No, you don't think so?
I mean, if you got a team like the Dallas Strikers, for instance, there's no person that's going to be like your stereotypical anchor like all the time.
No, but hold on. This was different though, because they were drafting a whole team. Right, the Dallas Strikers, they're only drafting 2 players a year. They're only adding 2 players. But what I'm saying, for instance, when the Dallas Strikers drafted Bill, right, when they traded for Bill, they knew, okay, this is a guy who we can have as our anchor going forward if we want to. So when you draft somebody first in your lineup of 5, I would expect that you're looking for that guy. Sean Rash can obviously be that guy. I don't think anybody would argue with that. So I was surprised to see some of the lineups there, and Andrew Anderson bowling in the 5 spot. First pick should have been Packy. He called it. Packy bowled really well too.
Look,
he
they all
had some
bowled well
here and there.
In order to get to the finals, they all had to bowl well, because they couldn't have all not bowled well and made it there because of how strong a lot of these teams were. But I'm gonna 90, 100 times out of 100, you give me the first pick there and Rash is there, I'm taking them. I don't care if Monticelli's team won 5 straight Elias Cups. I'm still taking Rash in that number 1 pick. What I gave slack for Monticelli was not for the AJ Johnson pick, not for the Andrew Anderson pick. Love those guys; they're great bowlers, and I would have picked them there. It was for the Ildemar Ruiz, and it was for the Richie Teese. And hey, look, I'm eating crow right now because they bowl great and they gelled well, and they're a good team, and I look forward to see if they could keep that team together. But so great finals though, dude. Love the emotion. I love the fire. Love to see it back in Portland next year with those guys. AJ, I thought set the whole tone.
Did you hear somebody say, hey, let's just take care of business now. We'll party when we get there next year? Did you hear somebody say that? I don't know who it was in their huddle, but going into the 5th game, somebody said that. I thought that was really funny. JD just commented about Timmy's headbutts. Listen, is it surprising at all? I don't think it's surprising at all that Timmy Mack's the coach of the team that repeats back-to-back championships. I mean, Rob, we talk about it all the time. I would love to wake up every morning and get a call from Timmy Mack when I get out of bed with like an inspirational message for the day, because the dude is just fiery and he just lights that fire in you, so it's not surprising at all that that team, I feel like they kind of have an advantage with him as their manager. So that was interesting to see. Well, but yeah, congrats to the Portland Lumberjacks, man, back-to-back champs. I know all of our people at Bayside are happy, Rob. There might even be a couple people from up there tuning in or who end up watching this, but yeah, listen, you know what, Rob? I think we're being invaded tonight, son. I think we have some guests here who are not normal guests in the chat. I think this might be somebody that I had as a student last year, actually, if I'm correct. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So to answer your question, they do, but it's just for a team event that's once a year, and that's it. It's really like an exhibition event. See, there's a couple of them in here. You see that?
Mike, your kids, when they find out you do it.
They're weirdos. They're weirdos, like they this is what they do on a Wednesday night, I guess. They come and check out Sweep the Rack.
Dude, I like it, man. Yo, bring in all the kids from your school.
They must have been into it.
Bring in all your kids from the school. I want to talk to all your kids, man. Bring them in. I want to see what kind of teacher you are. Yo, if you're one of Mike's
Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead. Rob
If
wants to
you're one
turn
of,
this into an education podcast. Go ahead,
if
Rob.
you're one of my students, man, comment in what kind of teacher is he, man? Is he harsh? Is he a bitch? Like, what kind of teacher is he? I want to know. Do you guys run over him?
Be
Yo,
easy,
man.
son. Be easy. They ain't gonna be honest anyway. They
Let's
never
talk
are.
about
They
Martin.
never are.
Yo, let's talk about
No,
Martin
wait, hold
Larson.
on. Let's
Okay.
talk real quick. What I disagree with that. I think it was Kyle Troop. Kyle Troop should be MVP. No, I mean,
no,
what?
dude. You saw his stats. He struggled, man. He didn't strike as much as.
What are you talking about? He was like 11 strikes.
Yeah, but there was more people on his team. That Martin Larson was like 13.
I don't know. I thought he threw some big shots. I did. Martin Larson be balling in the leadoff hole. You can't even throw big shots in the leadoff hole in that format.
Dude, Martin Larson was great though. Good man. He came back from a bad injury, man. They were talking about it, dude.
Getting hit by the car, right?
He got hit by a car, dude, and came back and didn't miss for literally felt like 2 hours. And I know Randy commented on it. Look, like Hulk, Kimberly Press is always the MVP.
Kyle was lights out. I agree with that. He threw some really big shots. He bowled deep in the lineup. He threw the shot that kind of wrapped it up there to put them up by almost 50.
What about Wes Malott? Wes Malott struck more than Kyle did. Wes Malott didn't seem like he ever missed.
Here's why. I didn't feel like a lot of the games came down to the 10th. I felt like most of the games in that 5-game match were wrapped up before the 10th. So I didn't really feel like there was a lot of drama for Wes Malott. I felt like a lot of the time he was almost like testing out different balls or different looks. So, but listen, it was a great match. No question about it. It was a great match. Great Elias Cup final. Going the 5. I like the 5-game Baker format in the final. What about you, Rob? As opposed to the win 2 games or it's a roll off.
Yeah, no, the roll off is dude. I could deal with the roll offs on all the other matches other than the finals. The fact that they had their own show for the finals and they did a best 3 out of 5 kind of brought me back to college bowling, like how they do it in college bowling. Even though we were best 4 out of 7, college bowling national championships are best 2 out of 3 on TV. So 3 out of 5 it gives a good amount of time for people to settle in and get hype and get emotional instead of just being like a whirlwind and then done. My only complaint about the last few days of I kind of felt like I might get a lot of shit for saying this. I kind of felt like there was too much bowling in a short period of time. I kind of feel like I just could never catch up. Like I know you're gonna laugh at me because I always say it, but it was tough for me to watch a lot of it. I watched about half of it, but it was tough for me to watch all of it. And
I had a few people text me and tell me the same thing. Honestly, if I'm being honest about it, you weren't the only one to feel like that. But we knew that going in, right? We knew there wasn't going to be a crowd. We knew that it was going to be a little bit more low key. It was going to be on the players to kind of create that feel, right? That intensity, and we saw that tonight in the final. But listen, there was some serious money tonight. No, it was like 12,000 a man for first, I think. So I'm assuming it was probably 6,000 a man for second or something around that. So that's a pretty big difference in money if you're just bowling a match for that kind of money. So you saw the intensity tonight. I didn't really feel like there was that same intensity level in the previous nights. I thought it amped up a little bit last night in the semifinal, especially in the Dallas match. I felt like those guys were really focused. But other than that, to me, it was kind of people going through the motions at some points.
Yeah, that's kind of why I stuck to really like watching the finals and the Baker matches, and it was pretty awesome. Like I really enjoyed tonight. I can't explain it. There's a few other things I kind of feel like I want to get into, and I'm glad that Hulk, our guy Hulk, he's becoming a regular.
They love the burners around here.
They love it, man.
Everybody loves the burners.
The women, right?
Women. Who are you talking about? Do your kids watch bowling? Whose kids are you talking about? You talking about my kids? I only have 2 kids. They're young now. My daughter, she loves watching Uncle Bill, whenever Uncle Bill is on, she loves watching. She gets very
Monkey
disappointed when
Man,
he
dude. That's
what?
the guy. We got Hulk Smash, Chan the Monkey Man. I mean, we got all the characters. I feel like we're Howard Stern. We got the Whack Pack like watching the shows.
Yeah, true.
No,
Ruiz
but the
cursing
women,
on TV. We talked about it. Rob said he
yeah.
loved it. He loved
Oh
Ruiz throwing
God,
the fire and
I love
cursing on
I
TV.
I love me some live TV cursing,
Yo,
dude.
can
It
I,
brings.
I'm gonna say this, right? So I text a PBA player who was going to be on the show, and I told him, I said, listen, somebody on your team needs to throw a strike, turn around really calmly, and just explode, like drop an F bomb, like let's win this with an F bomb involved. And I told him, I said, look at the things from golf that have gone viral. Look at the things from some other sports that you see. Since there's no crowds and you get to hear a little bit more, there's been a few videos out there that have definitely gone viral. And I thought it would have been interesting to see that for bowling. I thought Ruiz's little explosion tonight was somewhat unnoticeable. It wasn't as noticeable as some of the other viral videos that I've seen going around. But yeah, that was definitely something I was looking for. And you saw that intensity tonight. You saw it with Brad Angelo too, Rob, even though it was kind of,
Dude, I got
fake or
excited
whatever.
for a
But
sec. So let's talk about that for a sec.
no, hold on. Let's talk about the girls' teams. Let's talk about.
Okay.
Let's go Hulk Smash here. Let's keep the Hulk
Okay.
happy. We don't want Hulk Smash going crazy on us over here.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the girls' teams. Shout to the Fury, right? Shout to the Fury. They won a match.
So I
don't know what else do you want to say. I mean, what do you really expect in that environment? We all know that like speed, rev rate, these are the things that tend to have an advantage. They're going to be at a disadvantage to begin with. I couldn't believe Liz Johnson missed the 3-6, flagged the 3-6. Obviously, she had a problem with the grip on her spare ball. I thought anyway. That's almost unbelievable to see that.
So when I first saw the scores and how high they were and how these teams were just striking up the goose, my first text to you, Mike, was, wow, the women don't really have a chance if the scores are this high. And it has nothing to do with the women being bad. It's, look, if you're going to give me 10 out of 10 shots of Kyle Troop and Jason Belmonte hitting the pocket and carrying compared to, a girl, hitting the pocket and striking, look, the women have lower rev rates. They have lower power. So yeah, it is a disadvantage. So I happened to be working yesterday, which I do every day, and I was watching the Beef and Barnsley show, and I made a comment, and I was literally asking a question about it. I said, "Did you guys, in your opinion, think that the women were at a disadvantage this week because the scores seem high?" And Chris Barnes commented, I actually thought it was the other way around. I thought the women had the advantage this week compared to the men. And his point, which was a very fair point, was that the lanes were very over and under. They were very wet, dry. And you could say on the TV show they were wet, dry, right? The women were able to stay in the track longer and play right of the wet, dry when the guys were in the middle of the wet, dry. And I mean, I kind of thought about it for a second, was like, yeah, Barnes, man, like that's a fair point. So, I mean, you got to listen to a guy like Barnes who bowled the event and then, is as smart and as knowledgeable of the game as he is when it comes to playing lanes. When he says that the women were an advantage compared to the men, I believe him. So I kind of feel like that was a really good point, and I just wanted to say that, like, because originally I thought that the women were at a disadvantage, but after hearing Barnes talk about it, I kind of feel like maybe he was right, where the lanes were like a little wet dry, and wet dry sucks, dude. Carry sucks, getting to the pocket sucks. I mean, but more carry than anything.
The Fury match against the Atom Splitters was another match where I kind of questioned the decision of the lineup and the roll off. Mark Baker chose Chris Vi to go second, and I think I would have went with Jesper Svensson there. I'll take my chances with Jesper. Surprising to me that you're in a roll off and he doesn't get a chance to get up and throw a shot. So that was an interesting match, But listen, in this format with the win 2 games or go to a roll off, it's tough because it's tough to win both games. And then if you get to a roll off, it just comes down to one shot. So anything can happen, really. and we saw that a few times, right, with just bad carry or unfortunate breaks at the wrong time. So, I thought that was one of the more interesting matches along the way, though, for sure, was the Fury against the Atom Splitters. I thought the other expansion team, the Brew City Ballers, bowled really well, with the exception of last night. Going into last night, I kind of felt like they were the strongest team that I had seen in the competition up to that point. But last night they kind of laid an egg. So yeah, got to take that back for sure.
No, I'd put my money on the Strikers after seeing what they did in the
that's
match.
An easy bet, though. I mean,
yeah, but you want to talk? I mean, you're saying who thought the strongest team was? I mean, you see Bill's reaction, dude. I don't know. Bill looked like he could have struck for a year. Tommy, like, dude, like I really thought like they were gonna win. I thought they were gonna run away with it. Honestly, after watching all their reactions,
yeah,
but it's not. Matches are different, a different breed.
Yeah, we started a football pool last week. So
I forgot how I did. I did
football thing. You had the Niners. You want to go over it right now?
No, we'll go after. We'll save it for later. All right. But do I enjoy watching bowling or football more? That's easy. I enjoy watching football more than bowling.
I enjoy watching bowling more by a long shot.
I know. See, that's the difference. I'll watch the Jets suck for 60 minutes, but you put on bowling and everyone sucks, I'll turn it off in 5 minutes. So I guess that's the difference.
Yeah, very true. So yeah, I thought again, like those were some of the match highlights to me. Obviously, like we said, tonight seemed to be
we got to talk about the big highlight, the WWE invading PBA, which was fun for me for literally like 15 minutes until so let's talk in case anybody doesn't know what happened. Okay, so I'm gonna break it down for the people.
Break it down for the people, Rob.
So AJ Johnson is a very hype individual, right? He shows a lot of emotion. There's no fooling it. He loves to get hype, right? I feel like at the time it looked like it was kind of annoying Brad a little bit, just how he was doing it. So AJ got up, got hyped, do a strike, whatever. And
First shot of the competition. First shot of the competition.
Brad Angelo gets up and pretends to get all hype, like almost like word for word says the same kind of thing. What AJ said,
very mockingly. I mean, like,
and then he says,
dancing, put on the face.
Yeah.
It was very mockingly.
And then what was his quote? Something in the fact like,
and then he dropped the F-bomb and said, "Yeah, that was effing stupid."
Yeah, and then
he said something like, "Oh, you want to disrespect a team that has guys like ours? Yeah, bring it," or something like that.
Yeah. So like at first I'm like, my ears kind of like,
I was hype. I was ready to jump through the TV.
Bro. Yeah, and then I'm
what's
like,
AJ gonna do? I was waiting for AJ to pull his arms off and beat him to death with them.
I know. And then I'm like, oh shit, this is about to get interesting. Like all of a sudden, like I stopped what I was doing, whatever it was. And then I text you and I'm like, are you watching this? This shit's about to go down. You're like, no, man. I'm like, okay. So this whole thing is
that's right. I was on record.
You DVR'd it. And I was like, dude, you got to turn on right now because there's some shit going on. And you probably ran to the TV like, oh shit, what's going on?
Oh, I went right to it. No question.
Yeah. And then so there's like 5 frames go down and before Brad them and get up, and then Brad threw a really bad. Then the kind of momentum swing, like it was a big momentum swing after Brad didn't strike it 4-9, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then AJ and then that team, the Rollers, kind of like took that and went with it. And then like I went to commercial and I'm like, oh shit, this is getting great. Like I'm all excited. Like this is gonna
they talked a lot about it too. Like they brought immediate attention to it. Randy did, Dave Ryan did. So
I know, and I was pumped about it. And then they deflated me, Mike. It completely shit the bed.
What was the deflating moment for you, Rob? Like what was the point that you realized, oh geez.
Like this, my shoulders. When Brad and when they went to commercial and then they showed them like making up and ran these yucking it up and like joking
Yeah.
around about it. Okay, look, first off, here's the deal. And I'll tell AJ this, I'll tell Brad Angelo this. If you're going to fake it or stage it, dude, roll with it until after the show is over. Roll with it, right? Like,
Roll with it
use
for
that.
life. Roll with it for
Roll with
life.
it,
Keep
man.
people
Roll with
keep
it,
people
dude.
in question. Keep people questioning. Yes,
Dude,
agreed.
when I found out they were laughing, and I was like, oh, because look,
For me, it was the next day when Lucas Wiseman sent out the picture that had AJ
yeah,
like posing over him. Okay, yeah,
dude,
it's
and look, when Rash called Belmo a bottle bitch, they weren't yucking it up in commercial break, right? There was no yucking it up. They weren't laughing about
no,
it. They were,
that was the dividing line between those two. I think it was.
yeah.
But here's the thing, though that occurrence. What was that in? Wasn't that in the old team event that they used to do?
It
Right, it
was
was
one
in
of the
the
team
older
events.
team
It
event.
was,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
it was a team event.
like it was more of it was even more of an exhibition style event. So I don't think it had the same vibe because there wasn't that competition in it.
That was my like. Oh man, I thought we had something good, awesome kind of juicy shit. Like maybe they were gonna like talk more shit, fight a little bit, dude. It was killer. It killed me. Roll with it, guys. Bowling needs something like that. AJ, like we even if it's fake, man, roll with it. I don't care. Make it
Oh,
seem
listen,
like it's real.
I was tweeting, I was bashing Brad Angelo. I was like, "Oh, Brad Angelo doesn't want anyone to have fun. He only wants to talk about ball reaction and surface
We
and how
were, we
it
were
affects
going.
ball
We,
reaction."
we were ready to roll with it, Mike. We were,
Yeah,
and then it
yeah,
just, dude, sucked. Anyway, so that was
yeah.
my.
So like, I don't know if it was manufactured or not. I hope it wasn't. But if it was, see, here's the thing though. If it wasn't planned and you're AJ Johnson, how do you play it off like that? Like if I'm AJ Johnson and that wasn't planned, like we got beef, son. We got beef. One way or the other.
No, I don't think it was like I don't think it was something they talked about previous to the show. I don't think it was. I think it happened
Okay.
kind of on the fly. And I do think it was maybe a little bit of emotion into it, and I really think it wasn't planned at all. And I really think though that like AJ is a good guy, dude. Like he is. He's a nice guy, and I guarantee you, like he went over to Brad and was like, or Brad went over to him during the show and was like, hey, like I didn't really mean to like say that I'm sorry. And Brad Angelo is also a nice guy too. I want to know what was stolen out of AJ's car.
It's a good question.
Yeah,
Good question.
maybe it was a couple motive balls.
Michael, we will get the answer for you. We'll get
That's
the
big
answer
news.
for you
Yeah,
on that.
that's
It's
big. We
easy.
gotta know.
That's
Yeah,
easy around here at Sweep the Rack. We got inside info like that. No problem. We can find out what got stolen from his car.
Yeah,
But listen, let me say this. All right, I'm gonna go on record here. I hope this gets a lot of views. I hope AJ Johnson sees this. If that was not set up beforehand, there should be beef, son.
oh man.
There
Oh,
should be. If that was not set up beforehand, I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to campaign for beef. AJ, hit me up, dog. Hit us up. If that wasn't set up in the beginning, that was straight disrespectful, son.
dude, he
That was
did,
straight disrespectful, and he was out of line. He was out of line for that, especially given the fact that there was no crowd, and it was usually Bayside. It wasn't there. Like AJ was trying to bring the fire. As a matter of fact, Rob, we need to get the inside information. We need to find out if that was prearranged or not.
Mike.
Right? By next week, we're gonna let the people know whether that was actually prearranged or not. And if it wasn't prearranged, Rob, I'm starting to Sweep the Rack campaign for beef between AJ Johnson and Brad Angelo. Okay,
Mike.
I'm gonna want diss tracks. I'm gonna want battles back and forth. Okay, I'm gonna need special events to match them up against each other. All right, just for the purpose of beef. These are the things that I'm gonna have to start campaigning for. Son, where are you? Are you in outer space right now with a giant bright light on you? Like, what's the word?
We're doing it later, and I forgot that the sun was going down, so I didn't turn the lights on. So now I'm getting illuminated by the monitors. I have monitors.
I can't believe these fools are still here in the chat. It's amazing. This is what you have to do on a Wednesday night. Definitely
we
not.
got.
Oh,
Ooh.
wait a second. Wait a second. Do you see what happens around here, folks?
You got
Ask and you
answers
shall
right away.
receive.
Yo,
So,
why
ahead,
wasn't
Rob.
there? If Mike, I'm just thinking about if that would have happened to me or you bowling a college national title event.
Rob, hold on. Let me interrupt you for a second, okay? If that would have happened to me in college, we would have, I would have said, form a line out in the parking lot.
I know.
Form a line out in the parking lot. We're just going to go at it one after the other.
Here's the thing we got to know, though. We got to know who was the one who went over and squashed it first. That's what I want to know. Because I want to know who went over to. Did AJ go over to Brad?
I want to know. Did AJ hear his comment before they squashed it, and then did he possibly go back to the hotel and rewatch the show and hear the comment? Because to me, the comment made it worse. The comment made it he was really taking a shot at him. But all right, listen,
did take a shot at him.
We got the inside info is it wasn't prearranged.
So Brad did get pissed.
We're campaigning for beef, Rob. We're
So
campaigning.
Brad did get pissed. Brad did get pissed because AJ was bringing the fire, and to me that's
weak.
That is weak. And I feel like our flat 10. I feel like our flat 10 might be,
back on. Might be back on.
Might be back on. I know.
We had one. Then when we found out it was fake, we were like, nah, we got to put it on the back burner. Rob, it might be back on.
It might be
back on. We might need to. We might need to give it to the people next week. I don't know.
Yeah, start the beef, dude.
They don't know, Rob. These are first timers. So they don't know. This is like what we do around here for the most part, right? Okay, so where do we go from there? Right, we talked about the beef. We talked about the Elias Cup, and anything else you want to get into?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, it's way past my bedtime here, Rob.
I know.
I'm not going to front.
I know. One really important thing that I kind of feel like it's important to talk about. Bowling.
Thank you, Dr. Barnes. Thank you, Dr. Barnes, no doubt. Good luck the rest of the week, by the way.
Dude, bowling's got to come up with a better time slot to run these shows. Not only did they run it through Monday Night Football, which we had a Twitter thing on, right?
We did. That was you had me bugging, son. People had me bugging with the comments.
Dude, Chiefs, Ravens, and bowling is on. And
not just Chiefs, Ravens. Hold on. Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
Right? And you're gonna put bowling on
Lamar
at the same time?
I know.
Come on, right?
I watched it. I watched bowling. Honestly, I didn't watch a minute of Monday Night Football. Dude. I watched bowling. I stuck in there. I hung in there.
They went up against. Let's talk about who they went up against. Raw, right? They went up against WWE. You don't like it, but a lot of people do like it, right? They went up against Raw the night after a pay-per-view. Okay, it's usually a big event for wrestling fans. Tuesday they went up against. Did they go up against the presidential debate?
Yep.
They went up again, right? I mean, think about it. Come on, bowling.
I was thinking the same thing. I was going to text you again and be like, Rob, do you realize last night was Monday Night Football? And then tonight they're up against the debate. And then tonight.
Which was a worse of a train wreck, by the way, than bowling was.
Right. And tonight they were up against baseball playoffs. Okay. We're also mixed in there. Stanley Cup Finals Game 7 was also mixed in there. Okay. And
yeah, they don't have a choice, right? They don't, but this is the same shit that ESPN was polling, right?
I knew the Chiefs were going to win, Dr. Barnes. I had them as one of my picks for this week, so I definitely knew they were going to win. I was riding the Chiefs.
So,
but yeah, we understand, right? We understand that it's Fox's decision, right? And we understand. No, we understand that, with the pandemic and they're looking to fill time. Right, they're looking to fill slots. All you have to do is flip through the channels, especially the sports channels, and you can see that they're doing anything they can to just. Why couldn't
FS1, Mike? Why couldn't FS1 say, okay, let's do tonight was a good night, right? There was nothing going on, other than sweep the rack, right? Which
can't miss TV, right?
We maneuvered our schedule around, right? but like Wednesday night, Thursday night, even like Friday night, right? Like could have been just 3 better nights where they could have done back to back to back shows instead of doing it on Monday, Tuesday when there's 2 major events going on TV. All I'm saying is, look, like I don't want to get too much into it, but they could have picked some better shows and better time slots to put bowling on. And bowling's still not getting the respect it deserves, in my opinion, on these big networks, regardless of what we think.
Yeah, let's see what happens going forward. There's going to be a lot of content taped over the next few days, and if you have Flow Bowling, obviously you check it out. You have the match play from all the World Series,
NBA Finals, playoffs.
Yeah,
Chris, Matt, you're right. It's tough. It's tough for bowling to win because
right now is especially tough, right? Because with the pandemic, when else do you have baseball, basketball, football all going on, and hockey all going on at the same time, right? That never happens. So yeah, it has been tough going. Rob, what I would like to see, and we talked about this before, but I'll follow up on your point there, is and I don't know if this is possible through Fox or not. And listen, you'd have to look at the schedules and what season and this and that. I get it, but I would like to see bowling kind of locked down at night. Where it used to be Saturdays, whatever that may be. Like I would like to see bowling get to the point where Fox says, okay, for a better portion of the year, you're going to be on this night. This is the night for bowling. And they work around that schedule, and find a night where there's not a huge amount of competition at a particular time of the year. I saw also, Rob, and just a side point here, that NASCAR announced something today that they really switched things up, and they're trying to change some things. So, perhaps their ratings aren't as we talk about a lot about the comparisons to NASCAR and the PBA here. So perhaps things aren't as great over there either. So just to follow there.
Yeah, and at least the drivers are already wearing masks. So that's.
Oh my God. You know what I'm going to go do tomorrow then. You know what I'm going to do tomorrow as soon as I'm done working. In my car. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I got to open my other computer. I'm calling out tomorrow. I'm taking a personal day. Tomorrow. Let me bring up my system here. I got to take a personal day and go drill this radical squatch. Charlie tap shot 740 with it and says it's a must have in your bag. That means I got to go to the pro shop immediately tomorrow. All right. Go ahead, Rob. Finish up for us here. I'm gonna get this personal day in, please.
All right, go put the personal day in. I guess, and the only other thing really that I wanted to comment on, and I know we had a little bit of a beef on Twitter about, was the fact that the PBA is putting up social media when their pros bowl 300s and PBA events to try to sell bowling balls. I look, like, I get it, but it's just annoying as a fan, I guess, and a bowler, when you see, motive.
Believe it or not, I still got to take one. I know, it's crazy.
That's funny. Anyway, and I know we had some talk about that, but anyway, I don't want to get into that. You want to get into football picks a little bit?
See, as usual, these young bulls, they're not following the conversation. The Sasquatch is the name of the bowling ball. All right, follow the conversation if you're going to get involved around here. It's just like class. I got to tell you, pay attention if you're going to get involved.
But I did meet Santa Claus
out there.
I did meet Santa Claus, and I have seen Jesus Christ. So I haven't.
You're getting deep on the young bulls, Rob. You're getting deep on them. I don't know.
True story. If you ever around my neck of the woods, I'll take you out for a drink if you're legal, for a beer, and I'll tell you about the time I met Santa Claus.
True. All right, Rob. Let's do football picks. Yes.
Yeah, how did I do? Did you write them down?
I did write them down. So
what did I pick? What was the spreads?
You had Niners -4.
Yeah, they crushed the Giants. That was the lock of the year.
Yeah, it was. That was a pretty easy pick there. You had Raiders +6.
Oh, bad pick there. They got smashed.
Okay.
I lost money in that too.
And you had another bad pick, Arizona -6.
Yeah, 1 and 2,
-6. Okay,
which puts me at 4-2 for the 6 games.
Well, no, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're going week by week here.
Oh, okay,
We're going
okay.
week
How'd
by
you do?
week. It's who wins the week. Yeah, I'm going to win this week. So I had
Oh,
Falcons -3, which was a loser. I can't even believe they.
they,
You want to
I
know
know they
something? They
choked
cost
again.
they cost me a 7-way parlay, not 17. It was 7 bet, 7-way parlay
That's sick.
for like several $100s on that collapse, and it was money line too. It was money line as well. All right, so I had Falcons -3. That was a loser. I had Seattle -5. That was a winner. Seattle -5. Watch Russ. Let Russ cook. Let Russ cook. Russell Wilson looking like an MVP candidate early in the season, Rob. And I had what I thought was one of the locks of the week, too. Listen, you give me Andy Reid and the Chiefs plus points, I'm going to take that every time. All right. So I took the Chiefs +3.5. So I win that week, Rob, 2-1 to 1-2, and we are 1-1 through 2 weeks. So do you want to do our picks for this week?
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go
Sure.
first?
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
So I'm gonna. Looks like it's gonna be more of a favorite type week for me. I'm going Saints -4 over the Lions.
Okay. Hold on. Okay.
I'm taking Seahawks -6.5 over the Dolphins. And I'm going with the Rams, giving 13 to the New York Giants.
Wow.
New York
You're going
Giants
to
are
go
terrible.
Rams -13. You're going to take 13 points there?
I am, yes.
Oof. You're a savage, Rob.
That's going to be a smashing. They're going to win by like 30.
You are a savage. All right, so the Eagles are off to such a bad start, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, pick the Jets.
It's painful, bro. It's painful. So I'm gonna go San Fran -7 against the Eagles because honestly, I
Who are you
really
picking
just don't.
against your Eagles?
Yeah, I really don't see any way the Eagles get this done. I really don't. I mean, San Fran, they look like they're playing like a well-oiled machine, and the Eagles, they're playing with like receivers that I've never heard of before, quite frankly. So yeah, it's brutal. So I'm going to go there. I am going to go Buffalo
Buffalo's good,
-3,
dude.
-3
Buffalo's good
over the
this year.
Raiders. I think that line is low to me. The
Dude,
Raiders
Buffalo's
look
good.
50-50. They look okay. They don't look to be anything all that special, right?
Dude, after what the Patriots did to the Raiders, and I feel like Buffalo is just as good as the Patriots this year. Dude,
Right.
Josh Allen is playing an MVP right now, like caliber, like
Very
crazy.
true. So my last pick is going to be the Bengals -3 over the Jaguars. The Jaguars, they're not that good, and Joe Burrow looks
He's
great.
good, man. I
Looks
know.
great.
I got that's my
He's a
fantasy guy.
competitor too. He's a competitor. I think against a team like Jacksonville, that's going to be a win for Cincinnati, and I think it'll be a big win. Okay, so all right, you got our picks for this week, Rob. We're going to wrap it up.
I know it's late for you.
Any final thoughts here?
Yeah, I just wanted to send condolences out to Marshall Kent and his family on his passing of his father. Prayers and sympathies go out to the Kent family, and that's my final thought.
Yeah, I said on Twitter, I lost my dad to cancer, and it was a really tough thing. So I can understand, what he was going through. It's got to be even tougher, not being able to be close to home a lot of that time. And it definitely was in my thoughts when I got that news. So continues to be. Also, Rob, thoughts and prayers out to Del Ballard too. I know
he had surgery today.
Yeah, I know. I heard them mention that on the show. And he made an appearance on the show through like Zoom or whatever. He wasn't able to be there. And I know they don't put a lot of personal information out there like that. So just shout to him, and I hope he's working his way through whatever he's got going on. So a lot of good people in the bowling community, Rob, and it kind of sucks when bad things happen to good people. So shout to those guys. Keep your head up. Rob, we'll catch up with the people most likely next week. Maybe
There's
somewhat
some
in
bowling on
between.
this week. There's some
There
bowling
is
on the
bowling
animal
on this
pattern
week. So
Thursday,
like so
Friday.
yeah, so you got all the World Series bowling animal patterns coming up, the finals for those, like over the next few days on Flow Bowling. And then, I would imagine that the word will start leaking out about what the final results of those shows are probably over the weekend after they tape them. So, we'll keep an eye out for that or an ear out for that. And perhaps maybe we'll jump on earlier the next week. I'd like to try and get somebody from the winning team, Rob, from the Lumberjacks. Try and get somebody. Maybe we can get Timmy. Maybe we could bring him on. Depending
Timmy
on,
will come on.
I'm sure all our competitors out there, Dr. Barnes. I'm sure all our competitors out there are going to be wanting to get these guys too. But yeah, maybe we can make that happen as well. And that's it. Just check us out. We'll be around.
Yeah, and they'll be next week. We'll be at normal time at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And hey, like I maybe try to reach out to Wes, see if he'll come on. And he hasn't been on
MVP,
yet. So
MVP.
Yeah.
MVP, that's how we do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like no, like the animal patterns, they're not doing
I don't
it
think
live.
they're live this weekend, Shep. They're live on Flow Bowling, like leading up to the Final Four, I think, but I don't think the shows are live. I think the shows are being taped.
Yeah, shows are being taped. But yeah, so one of my beefs is I wish we could watch the live shows, the tape shows live, and we talked about that on Flow. Like we should be able to watch that on Flow, so like the diehard bowling fans could get their live bowling fix.
Very
and
true.
Even bet on it too. Think about how
Yes.
much more streaming power Flow Bowling would have if you were able to bet on some of these live tape shows, right? I could put it on my TV, put the app, and boom, it's like watching real like bowling, and I could bet on it, and it would be a lot better of an experience. Instead, now I'm waiting for someone to text me who won, and then watching the show taped just to go through the motions so we could talk about it. It's kind of a shitty way to watch bowling.
True.
Anyway, but yeah, that's about it. I know it's late for you, since you got to work still early. I'm on West Coast, so.
Rob, peace out.
All right, man. Take
thanks
care.
for joining us. Thanks for watching. We'll catch up with you.
Later, guys.